Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best value for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems. David Beard, CRM Principal, and Jeff Richards, Head of Training Program Development for Sage CRM, spend time chatting with customers, resellers, and others about Sage CRM in action around the globe. In this episode, we talk with Paul about his collection of add-ons that help customers bridge the front to back office gap, the differences in working across the Caribbean market, and how Sage CRM helps replace management by walking around using features such as dashboards. You mentioned the cart feature and the collections feature. Talk to us about maybe an example customer or two that takes advantage of these. What do they do? Why do they use it? What are the benefits they've received from using these components of yours?
Okay, well, we have a customer who does, they're in the stationery business. You know, they've been a long time client of ours. And how they use it is that they have their sales force deployed across the country. They don't come that much into office. And essentially, they just use a VPN, connect to the CRM server. They book all their orders. You know, it's helped them greatly because they don't need to call the office as they used to do all the time to find out where something is. I didn't mention this, but we also have another product called Delivery Manager, which just hooks onto CRM. It allows you to batch invoices for shipment, for delivery. And it also allows you to track the delivery process. Where is, did the item get loaded on the truck? Where is it? Was it sent back? That kind of stuff. So that's all booked within the CRM. So it's very efficient for the salespeople because they are now able to avoid those endless phone calls or having to go down to the office to see where the product is. And I should stress that in Caribbean, we haven't quite got the same depth of technology implemented across our organizations. So this provides a very easy way. It's not so stressful for them. And, they were able to put this technology in for the sales. And we've actually extended as well to the purchasing process. So if you have the PO is the item on order, well, the PO shows up, we'll pull it from Sage and say, okay, the PO is in the system, it's been booked, and we've added things like expected delivery and things like that. So essentially what it's doing is making the sales team more efficient.
And putting CRM at the center of the universe. So everyone knows, I'm guessing, that if they need to check up on anything from stock levels to delivery times or delivery location, they can use CRM to find that out.
Well, exactly. And you could also even use CRM, many of the marketing and other features that are off the shelf in the product. That's one of our journeys to try to see if we can get people to use the standard CRM more efficiently. I don't think a lot of the customers understand how powerful the tool is, for doing things like campaigns and lead management and all of that. And none of what we do, as I said, we only add, we never take away. So we never try, our goal is just to make additional features available. We're addressing niches that Sage or one of the third parties haven't got to yet. So we're saying, okay, well, this is what we can do to help with that problem.
I'm interested in actually what you were saying there around the other surrounding features of Sage CRM, such as customer service and marketing. Have you explored anywhere around the full tale of where you can actually start to see within Sage CRM where you've got integrations with, say, MailChimp and starting to look at social media integration where you can have data coming from an accounting software like Sage 300 flowing into CRM with all of the local management of that through to a marketing campaign, which is resulting in both a mail shot and also social media posts and integrating with things like the, Facebook pixels and Google pixels in order to flow back into seeing what people are doing on the website in order to come back into purchases, that long journey line as well.
We have used the MailChimp integration. The social media is really the next level for us. I think what's happening here is that, our penetration for website and web sales and all this sort of social media marketing, we're a little bit behind. Our marketplace is a little bit behind where you are in the UK, the US, Canada on these things. As I said, our approach has always been that we want to not to develop anything that already exists. So if it already exists in the Sage marketplace or the Sage, we would not wish to recreate the wheel. We have a couple of companies who've got a high level of integration of CRM already. So that would be the next stage for us, taking them into, linking to Facebook and all this other stuff that you mentioned. It's ideal. It's what people want.
I'm going to change away a little bit from the physical technology and the physical features that you've been describing of your products. What are the implementation differences? Not the technical implementation, but rather the implementation of the software as a system and the cultural impact in an organization.
The cultural impact is huge. I would say that's the biggest issue. When you're talking about changing business processes, particularly in a large organization, what I would call large is sort of, maybe 100 people, it's huge. You're asking them to stop doing something that they're used to doing. I give you an example of this. One of the clients they have their sort of senior salespeople, and, you're suddenly asking them in the space of a couple of days to stop. You're suddenly asking them to change how they do things. And I can't emphasize how difficult a process that is. What we do these days is we front load the process with lots of workshops and things like that to try and just to recognize that how serious a thing it is to say somebody who's maybe used to calling in an order or writing something down. Say in collection managers' case, I always remember these people with these large printouts of green bar paper where they write the details of the thing in, and they were asking them to stop doing that and key it into the system instead. And particularly in the Caribbean, this is a huge issue, changing people's job function and how they do things. With the younger people, it's obviously much easier. They kind of gravitate to this in a sense. They might come and say, why haven't I got a tablet? Why am I not doing this? Even simple things, we have to make sure that the training is done. And I would really emphasize that, and not to underestimate the scale of asking sort of 50, 70 people to stop doing something that they're used to doing. It's going to be very challenging. If you're talking about implementing the CRM system, the kind of timelines involved, it should never be taken lightly. It's not that it's that complex. If you're used to setting up CRM, we have our standard timelines for that work. Installing the cart is not really a long process, but things like configuring all the security, the roles, the user groups, this person's supposed to do this, but not that. That is a lot of effort, and there's a lot of requirements gathering for that. So I don't know if I answered your question.
That was very good. When you are working with the products, you're aimed solely at the Caribbean market at the moment, aren't you? Or are you starting to wanting to bring some of the developments you've done into other 300 territories?
Yes, we're actually planning to attend the third-party conference in Vancouver, TPAC.
Would you like to explain a little bit more about the third-party advantage conference?
Essentially, it's a third-party Sage 300 publishers conference. Publishers there with booths, everybody selling their products and saying, okay, well, this is what I can do. And it's one. I know you can go online and look at these things, but to actually interact with the publishers in person and get your questions answered, I think it's an excellent venue. We've gone for many years, and we've always found it absolutely fantastic. We decided not to be too ambitious. We decided we take that one first, and then we'll start attending the other Sage conferences. So yeah, well, our goal is to essentially it's a standard thing. We understand who we're interacting with. We understand who our customers are. We see them as dealers, obviously, and we do understand that dealer relationship, which is very important. Essentially, we could never do the things that a dealer does in North America. What you want is to be able to impart the information, give them the tool, and assist them to get the project done for their client.
I'm lucky enough, I have actually been to a TPAC, so I think it's a great experience. It is, for those of you who are listening and never been, you can check it out, tpac.biz, tpac.biz, and it is not a Sage conference, and what's very important about this is a partner level, partner organized conference showcasing products that work with Sage 300 and Sage CRM, and everything is to do with solutions for clients and prospects. So you'll get all sorts of things, which are add-ons, specialized services, customizations, and vertical solutions. So there's everything they possibly desire.
Taking you back to some of your customer questions I had earlier of you, you sort of made a couple of glancing remarks about the way of Caribbean business. What is it about that area that is perhaps different and helps to have CRM in your kit bag to make business work better for them?
The organizations are smaller but diverse. So essentially, what you might be doing in the US, or Canada, you might have 5 times, 10 times the sales before you need to sort of manage the complexity of a Caribbean operation. So why that is, we're all islands, so we have to import everything. So you're dealing with the government, lots and lots of import and controls. Things move slowly. The workforce are not as technically savvy as, say, the standard American or Canadian. And that's no disrespect. It's just a reality of where we are, our GDP, accessibility to tablets, things like that, and computer technology. How it's taught in schools. All kinds of things like that. The workforce seniority is quite important, hierarchical structures. So you'll have lots of older people who may not be as technically savvy. Or, so I would say those are the issues that impact, the implementation of technology. And the other issue from a management standpoint, because essentially it's always the management who are our customers, even though we recognize that everybody else is too, it's just that they're the decision makers. They like systems that give them control. They like to know what's going on. What we have done, I think, with CRM is we've replaced management by walking around to management by looking at your dashboard. And I think that that's very powerful. There's only so much you can do by inspection and looking at your eye, but you can tell, you want to know how many orders have been processed for the day, or where they are, or whether how many things were returned. You can see those things on a CRM dashboard.
In the next episode, Paul talks about the core CRM features that show the most promise in his market, how he drives usage of CRM to manage a business's transactions directly into the accounting system, and his recommendations on being successful in working with Sage CRM and Sage 300 together.
You've been listening to Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems.